You can feel it, can't you? The tug on your invisible leash. The polite smile you put on when your gut is screaming no. The little bow you give to approval, hoping it will pet your head and call you good. Kill that part. Not with bitterness, not with noise. Kill it by starving it. From this moment on, your hunger is not for praise. Your hunger is for power over yourself. Machiavelli wasn't writing for cowards. He wrote for those who would govern themselves before they try to govern anything else. A prince who needs to be loved is ruled by those who promise love. A man who needs to be understood is ruled by anyone who offers sympathy. The dog in you begs. The wolf in you chooses. Understand the metaphor. Dog is not loyalty. Loyalty is noble. Dog is neediness dressed as loyalty. It's the shaky grin after disrespect, the nervous laughter that makes an insult safe, the long paragraph you send to justify your worth. It's the apology for daring to have standards. That must die quietly, completely. Here's the first law of sovereignty. What you need from others becomes your chain. If you need permission, you'll tolerate delay. If you need praise, you'll tolerate disrespect. If you need inclusion, you'll betray your own edge. Watch how the world moves around a person who needs nothing. Gravity changes, rooms slow down, opponents hesitate. Power starts with subtraction. Remove your needs and your presence becomes dense. So start with the smallest discipline, silence. The dog barks to fill space. The wolf controls space by not wasting breath. Give people the gift of reacting to your quiet. Let their minds run. Let them project. In negotiations, in arguments, in daily interactions, measure your words like currency. That economy builds aura. Second discipline, pace. The weak run on the other person's schedule. They reply instantly. They accept last-minute changes. They adjust, then call it flexibility. The wolf governs tempo. They axi. Third discipline, boundaries. Soft people imagine boundaries are rude. Strategic people know boundaries are clarity. State terms once calm, simple, cold. If someone ignores the terms, you don't repeat yourself. You change the distance. The dog asks for respect. The wolf creates conditions where disrespect is expensive. This is not cruelty, it's calibration. You're not here to harm. You're here to stop participating in your own harm. When you kill the dog, you are not becoming heartless. You are becoming hard to move without your consent. You are removing the handles from your personality so nobody can drag you around. Let's talk micro behaviors that rebuild your frame. When someone interrupts you, you hold your posture, finish your sentence, and let the silence after your words sit. When someone tries to make you chase, you hold position and ask a question that returns responsibility to them. When someone gifts you guilt, you don't defend, you clarify. That won't work for me. These are not battles, they're edits to reality. Power begins with posture. Shoulders down and back, chin tucked, eyes calm. Not performative, functional. Your body teaches your mind what it is. Breathe low, speak slower than your fear. Remove filler words when delivering key lines. Give your statements a landing. Here's what I'm available for, period. Not, if that's okay. The dog checks the room and adjusts. The wolf checks the mission and adjusts the room. Align your day around a single controlling priority and let every micro decision answer to it. If health is the priority, then sleep wins over late-night distraction. If mastery is the priority, then deep practice wins over shallow dopamine. If money for a purpose is the priority, then leveraged work wins over busy work. A prince sets the calendar. You will be tested. The moment you stop begging, beggars will appear. The moment you tighten standards, past versions of you will knock. Expect it. Some will ask, isn't it better to be loved? Machiavelli's answer was surgical. It's safer to be feared than loved if you must choose. But understand the deeper cut fear in a modern context is not terror, it's consequence. It's the quiet knowledge that your yes means something because your no actually exists. Love without consequence becomes pity. Respect without consequence is pretend. Kill the dog by starving its diet. Stop feeding on validation calories. Post less about your intentions. Show more results without commentary. Don't telegraph every move. Build in silence. When you succeed, credit your process, not the applause. When you fail, own it and move. Noise is for the insecure, signal is for the sovereign. You need rituals. Wolves have winter. You need a season where you become unpleasantly disciplined. 30 days of clean fuel, hard training, ruthless scheduling, absolute mornings. Not to impress anyone, no announcements. You are freezing your softness on purpose. Pain becomes an ally when it has a job. You also need strategy. A wolf without a plan is just a powerful animal. Map your battlefield. Where are you playing? What are the score metrics? Who are the gatekeepers? Where do you create asymmetric advantage? In business, it's distribution. In art, it's voice. In relationships, it's standards. In health, it's consistency. Choose a leverage point and hammer it daily. Your speech becomes a tool. Replace performative empathy with accurate empathy. Accurate empathy reads the room, names what's real, and refuses to be emotionally blackmailed. It sounds like, I understand you're upset. Here's what I can do. Here's what I won't do. That's not cold, that's clean. The most dangerous habit of the dog is rehearsed apology. You apologize for existing, for asking, for holding a line. Break it with this replace. Killing the dog is subtraction. Training the wolf is architecture. You must build structure around your new center so it doesn't collapse under pressure. Start with aura. Aura isn't mysticism. It's the compound interest of consistent signals. Your standards, your pace, your scarcity, your follow-through. Send the same signal long enough and it becomes your legend. Machiavelli teaches reputation as a fortress. Not walls of stone, walls of predictability. People respect what they can predict. If your yes is gold and your no is iron, the market prices you correctly. If your boundaries wobble, you become a discount brand. Build your name on 3 pillars: reliability, consequence, and results. Miss anyone and watch your price fall. Reliability means showing up at the same level regardless of the mood. Anyone can perform on a good day. Wolves perform on cold mornings. Choose a performance minimum. You refuse to fall below minimum training, minimum output, minimum income producing activities. Minimums maintain the floor while you stack the ceiling. Consequence is not anger, it's math. When people cross a line, something changes. Access, rate, response time, collaboration move one lever intelligently, no speeches. If someone notices and asks, you don't perform outrage. You state, I adjusted to align with our last interaction. Calm, factual, final. Consequence teaches faster than lectures. Results are your proof of life. Wolves don't argue with critics. They ship work, track numbers, build dashboards. If you're a creator, views, watch time, revenue, retention. If you're in sales, calls, closes, commissions. If you're in craft, prototypes, iterations, launches. Numbers make emotion behave. Numbers give your wolf teeth. Now leverage. Power without leverage is just strain. Find the point where your effort moves 10 times the result. For some, it's distribution, an email list, a channel, a partner network. For others, it's intellectual property systems, scripts, templates. For some, it's capital money that works while you sleep. Multiply your force or you'll always be dragging the sled with your back. Tempo is leverage. Most people live in reaction speed. They sprint when panicked and stall when bored. You will build 2 speeds, deliberation and strike. Deliberation is slow thinking plans on paper, scenarios, second-order effects. Strike is violence of action. Once a decision is made, execution is fast and quiet. In between those speeds is where amateurs die. Detachment is another lever. To detach is not to stop caring, is to stop bleeding. You detach from outcomes you cannot control and dominate inputs you can. You detach during conflict so you can see the board. You detach from status battles that offer no strategic advantage. Detachment doesn't lower love or ambition, it lowers stupidity. Emotional control isn't bottling, it's steering. Imagine your emotions as weather and your standards as climate. Bad days blow through, climate remains. When fear spikes before a hard conversation, breathe low, plant your feet, use slow tone, and open with a question to gather information. When anger flares, treat it like jet fuel, only useful when aimed at a target called action. Frame control matters. Frame is the story that defines the situation. If you don't set it, someone else will. Begin interactions by naming terms of engagement. We'll evaluate this by X metric. This meeting ends with clear next steps, or we end it now. We're exploring fit, not chasing approval. Whoever defines the frame controls the meaning of what happens next. Speech patterns are tools. Use declaratives for rules, interrogatives for discovery, and conditionals for leverage. Our rate for rushwork is X. What outcome matters most to you? If we agree to Y, I can do Z. Notice the dog speaks in wishful language. Hopefully, maybe. Is that okay? The wolf speaks with conditional clarity. Tactical humility is a weapon. You can lower your posture to make others comfortable without lowering your standards. You can say, "You might be right, show me the numbers." That sentence disarms egos while anchoring the conversation to data. It's not submission, it's steering the boat to your river. Strategic mercy is power with a memory. You don't hold grudges, you hold records. When someone stumbles but shows repentance and change, you grant measured mercy. It's expensive enough to be valued and consistent enough to be trusted. Mercy extended to the right person at the right time buys loyalty better than any speech. Coalitions matter. The lone wolf dies in cliches. Real wolves build packs. Choose allies by 3 signals: skin in the game, truth under pressure, and time preference. If they risk with you, if they tell you the ugly truth when it costs them, and if they can delay gratification for larger wins, you have found family by choice. Information is oxygen. Establish intelligence loops. Ask post-mortem questions after wins and losses. What did we miss? What worked for reasons we didn't plan? Where are we fragile? Machiavelli would tell you, your enemies study you even when you ignore them. Study yourself with more brutality than any enemy would. Guard your mystique. Share the lesson, not the logistics. Teach principles, hide playbooks. Publicly, be generous with wisdom. Privately, be precise with your methods. The dog wants to be understood. The wolf wants to be effective. Mystery is not manipulation. It's margin for maneuver. Remember, hardness without warmth becomes brittle. The true wolf is warm by choice, cold by rule. You can laugh deeply, love fiercely, and still be unplayable. You can hold your child and your empire without confusing the two. Gentleness is beautiful when it's a decision, not a default. Your enemies are not people with faces. Your enemies are forces with names: distraction, cowardice, laziness, pride, chaos. They wear faces sometimes, but the fight is with the force. Kill the dog that feeds them, train the wolf that starves them. This is not a season, it's a stance. Part 2 closes with a promise you make to your future self. I will not beg for peace in rooms where I can create it. I will not seek advantage in places that require self-betrayal. I will use silence as a sword, standards as my shield, and measured action as my language. Say it once, then live it until you no longer need to. Sources to a cleaner arena. Retreat. Leadership is not a title, it's a gravitational field. When you stand straight in your standards, others orbit. Some because they want warmth, some because they want shelter, some because they want to learn the math of calm. Your role is to command reality without becoming a tyrant to yourself. Machiavelli's deepest lesson is misread. People think he preached cruelty, he preached clarity. He warned that softness in the wrong moment breeds chaos later. He taught that mercy, badly timed, becomes unmerciful to the many. Translate that to your life. If you let small lies live, bigger lies will rule. If you let minor disrespect slide, major disrespect will move in. Operate with rules of engagement. Rule 1. Align incentives before you align feelings. Feelings follow structure, contracts before camaraderie. Clear expectations before family. You're not reducing love, you're protecting it from confusion. Rule 2. Choose battlegrounds. A wolf doesn't fight every noise in the forest. He hunts. Don't spend your bite on petty comments, algorithm wars, or conversations that exist only to drain. Conserve aggression for goals that move the whole pack forward. Ignore what does not change the scoreboard. Rule 3. Install feedback without flattery. Praise what's real, cut what's weak. If you lead a team, design a ritual where the truth can be said without punishment. Rotate devil's advocate. Celebrate the person who breaks groupthink with data. The pack that can argue cleanly wins longer. Rule 4. Two truths at once. You can be kind and uncompromising. You can be patient and intolerant of delay. You can be forgiving and strict. The dog lives in either or. Rule 5. Keep your word expensive. The more promises you make, the cheaper each becomes. Promise less, deliver more. When you say "I will," treat it as a contract with your reputation. When you can't deliver, own it plainly and pay interest. That's how legends stay liquid. Modern battlefields are digital and intimate. Your phone is either a weapon or a leash. Curate it. Set "Do Not Disturb" hours where your brain recalibrates. Remove apps that recruit your attention for other people's empires. Build systems that pay you in output, not just dopamine. Every notification you silence is another meter of leash you cut. In love, be a sanctuary, not a storm. Kill the dog that seeks constant reassurance. Train the wolf that offers deep presence. Presence is not prose, it's attention. Put the phone down, listen like a strategist. Speak like a poet, few words, full heart, clear edges. Here's what I can give. Here's what I need. Here's what I won't accept. Real love is structured. In friendship, run with people who self-police. They catch their own slack. They call themselves out before the world has to. If you must be the only adult in every room, you're in a daycare, not a pack. Upgrade your rooms. Let time and standards filter who remains. Money is moral when it funds duty. The wolf doesn't hoard for status. He stores for winter, invests for terrain, shares for pack strength. Separate ego purchases from tool purchases. Tools feed the mission. Ego feeds the dog you buried. Don't resurrect it with gold. When you face betrayal, don't bleed on the stage. Feel it in private, write it in precise lines, then convert it to policy. We don't do business without X clause. We escrow Y. Articulate your doctrine. The simple phrases anchor you when pressure rises. Standards over feelings. Structure first, story next. Silence is a decision. Detachment before judgment. Protect the mission. Post them where your eyes trip over them daily. Doctrine makes the wolf automatic when the forest gets loud. Teach the next ones. Power that hoards dies small. Power that teaches multiplies. Mentor without coddling. Challenge without humiliating. Make mastery expensive but achievable. The pack becomes powerful when alpha is a role of service, not a costume of ego. Build redundancies. One stream of income, one supplier, one platform fragile. Spread roots. The wolf survives winter by having more than one hunt. If you're building a brand, diversify distribution. If you're building a career, diversify skills. If you're building a life, diversify meaning, work, love, craft, faith, health. When one winter hits, others keep you warm. Guard your inner court. Not everyone gets a seat near your fire. Choose a handful who can see you tired, uncertain, unarmored. Their job isn't to keep you comfortable, it's to keep you accurate. Equip them with permission to call you out. Reward them when they do. A leader without an inner court becomes a tyrant to himself. Schedule solitude like revenue. You need hours where no one else's language overwrites your own. Long walks, long drives, long showers wherever ideas hunt you. Bring a pen. Some of the best strategies arrive dressed as whispers. If you fill your days with noise, you will never hear the map. When you are tempted to perform strength, stop. The strongest move is often the quiet refusal to be drawn into a play you didn't write. Now the final charge. The world doesn't need another angry barker. It needs men and women who are calm enough to make hard choices, cold enough to enforce standards, and warm enough to keep meaning alive. That's the wolf Machiavelli would respect, not cruel for sport, but disciplined for order, not feared for theatre, but trusted for consequence. So here is your closing ritual. Read it once, then live it daily. I choose sovereignty over sympathy seeking. I will be generous with those who earn it and relentless with the standards that protect it. My silence is measured, my speech is engineered, my time is priced. I will love deeply without being leveraged cheaply. I will work with winter in mind and lead with the mission in front. I will not chase rooms that need me to be smaller. I will build rooms that grow everyone who dares to grow. Kill the dog in you, the people-pleasing, approval-hungry, guilt-trained pet that keeps you tame. Train the wolf, the sovereign, strategic, disciplined force that protects, builds, and leads. Then take the forest back, not with noise, but with inevitability. When you walk through a room, let the air say what you don't. The prince has entered and the game just changed. And if someone asks why you've changed, tell them the truth in one line. Machiavelli taught me to guard my peace, and my peace has teeth now. Now go. Winter is long, but you are longer.